And so, all the time we're together today, no matter what it is you want to talk about, it is our powerful intention to help you to realize how easy the choice is to improve your point of attraction and how obvious it will be to you as you begin doing it. Life just gets better and better. You begin feeling more and more worthy, more and more blessed, more and more steady, more and more sure-footed, more and more willing to get out in the world and just be the point of attraction that you are. You feel less vulnerable and less insecure and less angry. You just feel better and better and better, and everything about you reflects that. Your body feels better, your mind feels better, you're funnier, you're having more fun, food tastes better, nicer people are around you. Everywhere you'll go, you'll think, what's going on here? How is it that only nice people? I've been up for hours today, and every single person I've met has been fun or nice or helpful. What's going on? And we say, you've got your point of attraction set in such a way that that's what you're getting. It feels like you have an entourage out there ahead of you preparing where you are, and it pretty much is like that. Because when you lay down those kinds of tracks, when you prepave like that, when you tend to your point of attraction, and we're not saying stay there always, we like it when you see injustice or something that makes you so mad you can't stand it. Because when you do that, you ask with greater clarity for an improvement on that subject. That's what evolution is about. That's what your constant becoming is all about. We're not trying to talk you into getting into this goody two-shoes, sunshine and rainbows and lollipops and cotton candy kind of attitude. No one likes you when you're like that. That was sarcastic, a little sarcastic. But what we are wanting you to know is when you feel it, it's just an indication of where you are in relationship with what you've asked for. Not in relationship to where you should be. There's none of that. Not in relationship to what somebody else said you should do. That was your mother, and she's not part of this conversation. We're talking about your inner being and your life's purpose and the reason that you came. We're talking about you being a deliberate creator. We're talking about you fashioning your thoughts. We're talking about you managing the range of thoughts. We are so eager to talk with you about your range of thoughts on subjects that are important to you. Nothing is off limits here. We won't dance around your subjects much. We'll get to whatever point you want to get to. We want to help you feel heard, but as much as that, we want you to feel like you have a plan that will work for you. We don't want to help you wallow in whatever unwanted seems to be surrounding you, even if it's a little or a big amount. I want to help you pass that. But most of all, we want you to know how to do it, because it's so fun to figure it out. Nothing's more fun than to be confused and then find clarity on the subject that you were confused about, and then see others joining in with you to compound your clarity, and then watching your own manifestations shored up all around you to confirm through manifestations of all kinds the clarity and the worthiness of you. It's so fun. Life is supposed to be fun for you. It's supposed to feel good. And so that's our plan, Sam.
So the first thing I'd like to talk about is a book that I've been studying called A Course in Miracles. I consider it to be a contemporary sacred text. There's an author who writes about this book. And in one of his passages, he said, the thing that is missing from the law of attraction is the idea of forgiveness. And I wanted to get your perspective on that.
Well, we've played with that with our friends quite a bit. We say we don't forgive because we've never blamed to begin with. And what forgiveness is moving up the emotional scale and finding the sweet spot. And so what we've been saying to you about your inner beings, in fact, we offered a really strong statement in the last couple of broadcasts or workshops where we said, your inner being, and you could replace that with your Abraham or your God, whatever that source energy label you want to put on it, will not sacrifice its alignment to source energy to commiserate with you in empathy or sympathy just to make you feel better. Your inner being will never join you in a place that your inner being knows you don't want to be. And since your inner being is never condemned, is only love, then there's no emotional scale work for your inner being to do, which is what we would call forgiveness. In fact, we would say that that's what our friend accomplished there. It's not just a word, it's a changing of your point of attraction. It's letting in the love that's always been there for you that you've been keeping out because you've been in a vibrational place that wasn't letting it in. So isn't the act of now letting it in really what the act of forgiveness could be described as? We think so.
Yes.
Yeah, we think so. So whoever said that just doesn't understand our work.
Okay. My next question, or the next topic I'd like to have you discuss, is an emotion. And it's the emotion of awe, A-W-E. I'd like to get your perspective on how that fits into the emotional scale for us, and its importance, and why it matters.
Your question comes at a good time after we've had a conversation and demonstration. It's right in the sweet spot. And here's what we mean by that. In fact, that might be, you could say, like in a relief, or even, I'm amazed, but it's something that you weren't quite ready for. It's not all the way to the top, because by then you're so practiced and you understand and you've been intending it and you've been looking for it. So when it comes, it's expected. Like, I knew that was going to come. I was up and I was ready for it. In other words, you're already dancing to the music. But a feeling of awe, we think it's almost that breakthrough moment. Oh, it might be the moment of forgiveness. When you've just let go of the resistance that hasn't been letting you go. And then, that amazement.
To me, the word reverence fits in there.
Because the way you are translating this to yourself is that Source is the achiever of the greatness. It's a little problematic in that if you're including yourself in the reverence, we'll go with you. But if you're in awe of something done without you, it's sort of counterproductive to really having your point of attraction where you want it to be. Esther remembers being in a debate setting or something, and she was given a word to define, and the word that she was given was humility. And she always remembers this. She's told this story to people many times. The reason that she's interested in this subject is because now she realizes that it doesn't go along really well with what she's learned from Abraham. That humility was the realization that there's something that is greater than I. And so I'm choosing my humbleness or my less than-ness. And that's not what your inner beings are ever doing. Your inner beings are you. And your inner beings are becoming and holding their state of being on your behalf, not as something for you to be in awe of, but as something for you to know that you are equal partners in and for you to allow into your experience.
Is that a place then that the inner being sits? Is it is in an awe of me?
Appreciation for sure, but awe sort of implies unexpected. And your inner being has known how fabulous you are for a very long time. Never said, oh, well, that's a surprise. I thought he was a screw-up. Turns out he's got it going. When you think about it, we know we're asking a lot of you, but think about, so you were source energy, and then you focused here. And that source energy part of you remains mostly there, but here you are, and your inner being just so delighted that you've decided to take this excursion into this environment of new choices for the purpose of expanding. So your inner being wasn't in awe that you made that decision because it was something that you all decided. It was just something that was known, not something to be amazed at. And your inner being wasn't just shocked that there was contrast there for you because your inner being knew it was going to be that way. So did you. And your inner being is just thinking, this is working out really well because lots of new rockets of desires and expansion are happening. And then your inner being saw you in your place of wanting something that you weren't yet allowing, but your inner being didn't feel disappointed like you might have been feeling, and your inner being didn't feel awe about what was happening. Your inner being just knows how it works and knows why you're there and knows that your guidance system will lead you and knows that there's nothing serious going on anyway and knows that even if you don't catch hold of your guidance system, that you've contributed mightily to the expansion of this universe, and you'll reemerge into non-physical and you'll be right up to speed with everything that you wanted about it anyway. And so at no point is your inner being surprised and delighted. Delighted, yes. Surprised, never. And we think the awe is in the sort of new awareness kind of feeling. That's why we think it's that moment of letting go of the resistance and that feeling of release into the freedom of who you really are. Kind of get the feeling of that? Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, really good.
Okay. I feel like when you're talking about intending, sometimes when I'm intending, there's a piece of me that's focused on kind of holding this vacuum. And if I try to describe it, it'd be like I believe this vacuum waiting is more authentic than my intending.
Well, that's an analogy that isn't working for you or us either, so let's leave it behind.
Just. I feel
How long
like
have you been chewing on that?
I just felt like I've just been. When we've talked.
We are playing with you a little bit, but can you feel how wadded up you are in that?
It seems crazy.
It's not the sweet spot.
No, it's not the sweet spot.
It's not the sweet spot. So what do you do when you know you're not on the sweet spot? Do you dig in? Do you try to explain it in another way? Or do you just let the sucker go? So then go back to your original intent, which was the word intent. What is it about intent that is calling you? Or is it? Is it calling you, or are you trying to drive yourself to it?
I think that I'm intending.
You've been listening to us for a long time, haven't you?
A long time.
And are you mad at yourself that you haven't gotten it yet?
I felt shocked when that came up for me, that I was still.
Well, we're playing with you a little bit, but we think that's what's bothering you. We think that happens with a lot of you. You've been listening, and it's like, I should have this by now. I should have this by now. How many processes is Abraham going to shove down our throat before I get this? And we say, it's because you were so stubborn on accepting the original message. You're good. You're good. And you don't have to explain nothing to nobody. You don't have to jump through any hoops. You just have to live life in the natural way that it calls you, and launch your rockets of desire, and then do your best to feel good and let the good stuff in. On the Abraham Now broadcast, a couple of broadcasts ago, a beautiful girl said, even better than it's going to happen right now, she said, it's like these emotions are portals. Portals. And we thought that was such a wonderful word to use, because your emotions are portals, in the sense that when you achieve an emotion, whether it feels bad or good, that's the access that you have. In the last broadcast, another every time attender of the broadcast asked the most brilliant question. He said, Abraham, you said that whatever our emotion is, and then he put some other words in, like where the basket is or where the set point is that there's a range that's all we have access to. And so when you look at it like that, don't you want to establish that portal or that range so that it doesn't bring confusing things to you, it brings things of clarity to you?